We start with a big update on that tsunami scare we've been following since yesterday afternoon. Washington state officials just canceled that tsunami advisory for our state. The notice came down just after 10:30 this morning from the Washington Emergency Management Department. It says there is no tsunami threat to the Washington coast at this time. This all came after a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake shook Russia, one of the strongest earthquakes ever recorded. And the tsunami alert, it does remain in effect in Hawaii right now. Here's a live look at Waikiki Beach. The water there, it has receded, but the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center says strong currents could still be dangerous. And take a look at this. This is the scene in Maui. Tourists and locals slept in their cars overnight after evacuating to higher ground. This is what it looked like yesterday at sunset. People had their eyes toward the water, looking for any tsunami waves. Our very own Madison Wade just happens to be in Waikiki on vacation and sent us this report of what she saw overnight.
What I did see earlier, though, that was interesting was everyone in this area in Waikiki were cheering and shouting and chanting at one point, which I believe was their response to not seeing any major waves around that 7:10 mark, which is when we were expecting to see the first waves hit.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration reported a 5-foot high wave on the north central shore of Maui Island. No damage, though, has been reported. Switching over now to a live look at Westport along the Washington coast. The National Weather Service confirmed waves hit Westport and La Push around 1 in the morning. And again, the tsunami alert, it is now canceled for Washington, but not before causing concern in our coastal communities. King 5 Savannah Welch joins us in the studio.
Well, Washington state parks closed all ocean beaches overnight while the tsunami advisory was in effect. And this advisory spanned the entire western coast from California all the way up to Alaska. This also included the outer coast of Washington as well. And the biggest concerns were those abnormal currents and waves, and those can become dangerous. There can also be aftershocks after a tsunami like this. Between midnight and 1 a.m., the National Weather Service reported the first tsunami waves arrived at Westport and La Push. More waves were spotted throughout the morning along the Washington coast and the Strait of Juan de Fuca. The National Weather Service warns these strong currents can threaten swimmers, boats, and coastal structures. Overnight, volunteers and fire crews kept people away from the water, trying to keep them safe. The Grays Harbor Emergency Management Director says they expect the impact to last up to 24 hours from the initial earthquake. We talked to people last night that were near the beach. Here's what they said.
Kind of scary and exciting, just like, oh no, what's gonna happen?
It just makes it exciting, kind of,
Yes.
that we were here to experience this.
So far, we haven't received any word on damages here in Washington. We'll keep monitoring the situation and bring you the latest updates as they come in. In studio, Savannah Welch, King 5 News.
Thanks, Savannah. Let's check in now with meteorologist Ashley Ruiz. Ashley, it's sounding like we're mostly out of the clear here.
That's right. So with that advisory being canceled, the National Weather Service does say that there could be some abnormal currents and stronger currents and waves, but below that threshold for tsunami. So that has canceled for much of the West Coast. In fact, just as of a couple of minutes ago, the tsunami advisory also canceled for all of Hawaii and then for Alaska as well. So you see the trend here. The only portions of the West Coast still under effect with this tsunami advisory is the far northern portion of California. You see the coastal zones, including Crescent Bay. Then we get to Southern California, all the way down to the shores of Santa Barbara. That's where it's still in place as well. In terms of the observed max tsunami heights, this is as of this morning from the National Weather Service, saying La Push close to about 1.3 feet above normal, and then Port Angeles 1.2 feet, Neah Bay just a little shy of a half of a foot. And then looking around California as well, one of the maximum, Crescent City around 4 feet, and then Arena Cove around 3 feet, and then Port Orford in Oregon about 1.4 feet. So things have settled down, thankfully, but it's always important to know where you would go if you're under some of those tsunami tsunami zones. But look around western Washington and just Washington in general. We still have some of that fog along the coast and then some smoke haze from the Bear Gulch fire over Hurricane Ridge. For today, we'll have that chance for a couple of afternoon thunderstorms up in the mountains and then some lowland showers and mountain showers and thunderstorms into our Thursday. I'll have all these details and I'll talk about the potential for some lower air quality. All of that's coming up shortly.